Hi, my name is Laura Jung, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Graz. In this video, I will briefly introduce my article, Adaptive Politics, or Countering the Myth of German Transformation After 1945, which has recently been published in the Review of International Studies. The article takes 1945 and the notion of a German transformation after World War II as its point of departure. Both of these are often invoked as a kind of shorthand for different kinds of monumental changes, ranging from the defeat of Nazi Germany to a more general discrediting of fascism, racism, and colonialism. But while other mythical IR turning points, like 1648 and 1919, have been roundly debunked, this has not been the case for 1945. This is what the article does, looking especially at the role of Germany in this process. A number of IR literatures make this claim of a German transformation, arguing that it was transformed from a fascist, militaristic, and racist state into a model liberal democracy. These accounts signal a complete break with the past, in which Germany reinvents itself, and both Nazis and Nazism play no more role in its politics. The article contests this account. It takes a closer look at German domestic and foreign politics in the immediate post-war period, focusing especially on international negotiations over the terms of Germany's reintegration with the West and on the compensation of survivors of Nazism. Reviewing historical and current accounts of this era, it finds that claims of a German transformation are not supported by the historical record. Despite undergoing Allied-mandated denazification and formally compensating the survivors of Nazism, certain elements of Nazi politics remained in place, albeit in an adaptive fashion. The article proposes the concept of adaptive politics to grapple with a complex concurrence of both continuity and change. On the one hand, there was of course significant change, with the defeat of the Nazi regime, the occupation of Germany, and the establishment of two new states on its territory. But alongside this change, defining elements of Nazism remained in place or adapted, such as racism and anti-Semitism, extreme nationalism, and a biologized view of the human. So this concept of adaptive politics builds on a number of different theoretical approaches. It reads Sylvia Wynter's account of what she calls adaptive truths for, to think through how post-war German psychiatrists interpreted the new symptoms of Holocaust survivors through an old biologistic paradigm of trauma. It also turns to the Frankfurt School's accounts of secondary anti-Semitism to describe how age-old anti-Semitic tropes were updated to fit into the new post-war setting. Finally, the concept also builds on work by Jasbir Puar and Lauren Berlant to describe how the compensation of Holocaust survivors actually functioned as a form of persecution. Instead of the genocidal mode conducted by Nazi Germany, Jews and other survivors were prevented from getting better or debilitated through year-long applications procedures, humiliating encounters with medical professionals, and they were also subjected to precarity through low pensions payouts. Here, racist and anti-Semitic discrimination adapted to the temporality of the ordinary and unfolded in a mode of slow death. By tracing this history, the article raises the question why such emphasis is placed on German transformation in the first place. The article shows that IR accounts of German transformation do really important work in separating the conduct of the Nazis from the international politics of the West more broadly. To put it bluntly, if Germany had to transform to join the ranks of the West, these liberal democracies could have had nothing to do with the kinds of politics espoused by Nazism. The transformation narrative thus functions to quarantine disordered forms of international politics, like racism, militarism, and extreme nationalism, behind the temporal barricade of 1945. Recording this in late 2024, as another genocide is being waged in Gaza, I hope this article can contribute to an understanding of how genocidal violence is reckoned with or not reckoned with by the international community, how displays of contrition and even material compensation can coexist with extended, adapted forms of persecution, and finally, how 1945 was not as monumental a turning point as is often suggested, with racism and anti-Semitism fully discredited, but how it finds adaptive expression in liberal democracies as well. I hope you enjoy reading the article. Thank you for your attention.